Hello and welcome back to another video on the Football Zone and to a weekend review reviewing Premier League and Championship action. Didn't we have a crazy week in the Premier League? So let's get straight into it on Saturday lunchtime with Manchester City defeating Newcastle 2-0. And Joe, it's Phil Foden in the 15th minute and Bernardo Silva in the 67th minute that sealed the win for Man City. And Joe, a win that they deserved. Really, definitely the best side here. Maybe Newcastle. I don't know. I just don't think they're as good as Man City, really. They were at their best here. Maybe some hangover from the cup final. But their top four positions looking precarious. But City back in the title race for now, at least, until later. But anyway, Chelsea, they picked up a crucial win with a 1-0 win over Leeds. Fofana with a goal in the 53rd minute. A good win for Chelsea, this one. Wasn't an incredible performance where they absolutely blew Leeds away. But at the end of the day, for Potter, with the struggles he's been going through recently, the only thing that mattered for him was a win. For Javi Gracia, I think he will take some positives from it. They were still largely sticking the game with Chelsea, and we know how good they are with all the money they spent. And so yeah, there will be some positives, but still frustrating to come away with nothing. Wolves 1, Tottenham 0 was the score at Molineux. Another disappointing game for Tottenham. And Traore with the only other game in the 82nd minute. Tottenham, I think they'll be gutted not to come away for anything, because really they dominated this game and should have had at least a goal or two by the time Wolves scored, and in the end they were made to punish. They were made to pay for it. And Wolves up to 13th now, got a 5-point gap over the relegation zone, and I think they'll be feeling optimistic that should be okay for them. So yeah, they'll be optimistic. But for Tottenham, deeply frustrating. Chelsea won. Brighton 4, West Ham 0 was the score at the Amex. McAllister, Veltman, Mitoma, and Welbeck with the goals. 4 different goal scorers. Great win for Brighton. They absolutely dominated this game. I thought West Ham would have turned the corner. After some really impressive results recently, especially one against Forest. But in the end, it doesn't seem like it, and their struggles continue. But for Brighton, a fantastic victory for them. And their European ambitions are well and truly alive. At Villa Park, it finished Villa 1, Palace 0. A good win for Villa here. It was an Anderson own goal in the 27th minute that gave Villa lead. Zaha had a goal disallowed through VAR for offside in the 5th minute, and Decore was sent off in the 62nd minute for Palace, which made their job a bit harder. Once that kind of happened, you knew that Villa were on top. In the end, fully deserved that victory. Only had one shot on goal, but made it count. It's a big win for them. Palace, they need to pick up some results because they're not totally up the relegation picture. But moving on then to the most dramatic of comebacks, I said Man City were in the title race after that result, but a few hours later when Arsenal did this, you may think they're not in it, but Billing in the first minute, 9 seconds, second fastest goal in Premier League history, making it 1-0, incredible. Before Cincy made it 2-0 and you thought, oh god, but no, Partey 62nd minute, White 70th minute, and 97th minute, Reece Nelson giving Arsenal the win. Just absolutely incredible. Those are the sort of comebacks, never say die actually, that win you league. Just unbelievable. Bournemouth will be devastated, huge loss for them, but yeah, Arsenal incredible. Moving on then to Southampton 1, Leicester 0 at St Mary's. Alcaraz was given a yellow card in the 21st minute. He was lucky not to get sent off. Ward-Prowse missed a penalty in the 32nd minute, but it was Alcaraz that kind of proved to be a crucial moment, him not getting sent off in the 35th minute, sealing a win for Southampton. It's a result which Southampton, I think on the balance of play, they just about deserved. Had a few moments where they rode a luck, but just about got for it. Big win for them. Sellers has had a good impact, they'll be positive staying up now. But moving on then to Forest 2, Everton 2 on Super Sunday. A game where Everton took the lead twice, once through Damari Gray in the 10th minute before Brennan Johnson in the equaliser in the 19th minute, and then Decore 10 minutes after that made it 2-1, but Brennan Johnson in the 77th minute equalised. Inspired performance from Brennan Johnson here, but draw would be the fair result, I would say. But Everton will be gutted having led for that long. And look twice not to hold out. Sean Dyche side, I think he'll expect his team to do that. But moving on then to the most incredible result at Anfield. Liverpool 7, Manchester United 0. Gakpo, Nunes with 2, Gakpo with 2, and Salah with 2, and Firmino with the other one. Just absolutely remarkable. United probably were the best team in the first half. That's the crazy thing. But they just totally fell apart. Ten Hag, we all thought things were going swimmingly for him. But no, Jesus Christ, this is awful. Bruno Fernandes needs to look himself in the mirror. Lots of Manchester United players do, because they just gave up here. It's remarkable. But for Liverpool, an incredible result with Tottenham and Newcastle losing. Their top four is wide open for them now. But moving on then to another dramatic game at the Brentford Community Stadium on Monday night. Pinnock in the 6th minute. Solomon equalised in the 39th minute before Tony made it 2-1 from the spot. Jensen made it 3-1. But Carlos Vinicius late on with a consolation goal for Fulham made it 3-2. But another big win for Brentford here, and a result that I would say they absolutely deserve to win. They'll be delighted with that. It moves them into 9th place, just 1 point behind Fulham with 2 games in hand. And yeah, they'll still be dreaming of Europe, and what an incredible story it would be if they could get in there. But moving on then to the Championship, and on Friday night it was a really good win for Hull, and yeah, Liam Rossini as well, with a 2-0 win over West Brom. Tete in the 37th minute, and O'Shea with an own goal in the 57th minute. And West Brom, yeah, they kind of dominated the game, but in the end Hull stood resolute, and yeah, West Brom weren't clinical enough, and Hull picked up a really impressive victory, it has to be said. Moves them into the 13th place now, just 3 points behind West Brom. Corberan, yeah, his fast start kind of seems to be died out, which will be worrying for them. But moving on into the lunchtime games on Saturday, Cardiff 2, Bristol City 0, and yeah, Cabba and Pilgone in the 17th minute gave Cardiff the 2-0 win. Also was sent off for Cardiff in the 91st minute, but that made zero difference. And yeah, it's a game that Bristol City, I don't know, I think they'll be frustrated that they at least didn't score and maybe even got something out of it. But yeah, for Cardiff, it's a big win. Sabri Lamouchi's doing a great job here. Probably deserves a long contract to the end of the season. But yeah, he's steering Cardiff to safety at the moment. But moving on into Blackburn 1, Sheffield United 0 at Ewood Park. Pickering with the only goal of the game early on in the 5th minute. And yeah, a game that was quite evenly matched, you'd have to say. Sheffield United, maybe just shading it, but I think that's also partly down to the fact that Sheffield United, for 85 minutes, were trailing the game, so you had to get back in it. But Blackburn defended well, defended resolutely, and yeah, those who doubted them for the playoff play at 4-point advantage over Millwall, I think they'll be feeling a lot more confident now, because yeah, they really have started to turn the screw. But Sheffield United, worrying times for them with Middlesbrough lurking. But Luton 1, Swansea 0 was the score at Kenilworth Road. Morris with the only goal of the game in the 39th minute, and yeah, it's a game that Luton absolutely deserved to win. Dominated Swansea, and yeah, a really good win for them. Maybe it should have been more than one. But the point is, they're still 3 points inside the playoffs, and they're looking good in that position at the moment, you'd say. But yeah, for Swansea, it's just another disappointing season. In 17th place now, I don't know, I just don't really feel much to that club at the moment. Yeah, I don't know, it just needs change at the summer, you'd say. But moving on then to Wigan 1, Birmingham 1 at the DW, and yeah, it was Bakuna in the 4th minute who gave Birmingham the lead before Fletcher in the 59th minute equalised. Scott Hogan had a penalty in the 66th minute which he missed, and yeah, that led to a draw. And on the whole, I don't know, I think Birmingham with that missed penalty probably will be disappointed that they didn't come away with the 3 points. But it's also a game that Wigan would have gone into it targeting with Birmingham's poor run of form to get 3 points. So I think it's one of those games where both teams will probably leave dissatisfied. Moving on though to Watford 0, Preston 0 at Vicarage Road, and yeah, there wasn't much to report on this game really. Watford, I don't know, they probably shaded it, and in the end will be disappointed not to come away with the 3 points here. And yeah, it's just the thing with Watford at the moment, I don't know, they're drawing too many games. They need to start winning more consistently to have any chance of reaching the past. 4 points off Norwich now, so yeah, that's disappointing for them. But Preston in 12th, good away point for them, and yeah, I think they'll definitely be the happier of the sides. Moving on into the Stadium of Light though, where Sunderland were defeated 5-1 by Stoke. Yeah, quite a remarkable result. And Lauren Campbell with a brace made it 3-0 before Pritchard pulled one back, but then Dwight Gale with 2 goals made it 5-1 to Stoke. Yeah, considering how much Stoke have been struggling recently, a remarkable result. But yeah, they were absolutely outstanding here, fully deserving of the 3 points. But Sunderland, I don't know, they have really good form, has kind of just seemed to disappear. And yeah, it looks like it's going to be a struggle now to get anywhere near the playoffs. Moving on then to Rotherham 3, QPR 1 at the New York Stadium. And yeah, Hugh Gill with 2 for Rotherham before Jamal Lowe scored 1 from the spot, but Odinson in the 90th minute made it 3-1. And yeah, it's a result that Rotherham fully deserved. Gareth Ainsworth had a really, really poor start to life at QPR, and I think it's just kind of showing the extent of the job he has there, which will be concerning for them. But Rotherham playing some good stuff at the moment, and yeah, for me, I think they look pretty good staying up at the moment. But moving on then to a big game in the race for the playoffs at Carrow Road, where at the Dam, where Millwall came up 3-2 winners. Tom Bradshaw in the 20th minute made it 1-0 to Millwall before Sorensen, Bradshaw and Sarah made it 3-1 in the 65th minute. Fleming in the 83rd minute made it 3-2. But yeah, Norwich held on to a big win, and I think Millwall will be disappointed because I think they played well enough to get something out of it. But yeah, in the end they couldn't. Big win for Norwich. David Wagner looking on the up there, and they're looking good for a playoff spot. But moving on then to Middlesbrough, and they continued their push for automatic promotion with a 5-0 win against Reading. Some proper thrappings in the Championship this week. Akpom, Ramsey with a brace each, and Force with the other one. 2 of them were penalties. But yeah, Middlesbrough absolutely destroyed Reading here, and I think they're just showing how good they are to challenge Sheffield United at the moment, and yeah, I can see it right down to the wire. But for Reading, a disastrous week. They're all for the way form continues with a points deduction incoming too. Another team that's had a disastrous week, when don't they have a disastrous week at the moment, is Huddersfield with a 4-0 loss to Coventry. Gokares with a brace, Hamer and Walker with the others, and yeah, a simple win this for Coventry. I don't think Huddersfield even played too badly, to be honest, but Coventry was just ultra clinical, and yeah, I think in the end it just kind of underlines how poor Huddersfield are at the moment. And yeah, Coventry, good run of form, only 3 points outside the playoffs. They'll be eyeing up, but Neil Warnock has got a massive job in his hands to keep them up. But moving on then to probably one of the most surprising results of the weekend, and that was Blackpool holding Burnley to a point at 0-0. And yeah, Burnley dominated the game, but in the end they couldn't create much. Blackpool defended very resolutely, and they'll be absolutely delighted with that. But yeah, Blackpool, they need more of that if they want to stay in the Championship next season. And Burnley, yeah, poor result, but it's not going to affect their chances of being in the Premier League next season, is it? So yeah, both sides won't be too bothered really. But yeah, Blackpool will be delighted with that point, I think it's fair to say. But anyway, guys, that's it for you. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Leave your thoughts, comments down below. Follow me on Twitter for daily football news and subscribe to my channel. It's going to be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace.